ready, guys? Okay. Good evening and welcome to the Planning and Zoning meeting for the City of Smyrna. Tonight is January the 11th, 2021 at 6 p.m. and this meeting is called to order. At this time, we'd like to ask that all electronic devices be put into airplane mode or turned off as they interfere with our recording equipment. For those of you joining us for the first time, this meeting is conducted much like a council meeting. As such, each application will include a presentation from city staff, followed by a question and answer session between staff and the board. Following staff's presentation, we'll have the applicant present their application and answer any questions. Once all the questions have been satisfied, we'll have an opportunity for anyone in attendance that would like to come forward and speak in favor of or opposition to the application. We ask that you come forward one at a time, sign the sign-in sheet at the podium, state your name and address, and then give us enough time to clean the podium in between speakers, please. We also like to ask that masks remain on at all times in the meeting and that we keep a safe distance as we try to maintain social distancing standards. The first item on our agenda is item 2021-005. This is zoning request Z21-001. It's to allow the rezoning from GC to OD conditional for the use of a self-storage facility. It's 3.29 acres in the land lot 444. This is also known as 912 Daniel Drive. The applicant is GFAC Real Estate. Mr. Staubs, the background, please.
Good evening, Joey Staubs, Planner 2 with Community Development. This is zoning case Z21-001. Applicant is GFAC Real Estate. Your recommendation will go to Mayor and Council on February 15th. Subject property is 912 Daniel Drive. It's about 3.29 acres in Ward 5. It's currently zoned general commercial and has several structures, a commercial structure and some residential structures. The applicant was wanting to rezone it to OD conditional for a self-storage facility. Immediately to the south is in the city, and that's general commercial. It's surrounded by county property, some residential and some commercial property. The existing land use is community activity center. To rezone it to OD, it would have to have a land use change to industrial. The surrounding land uses are community activity center in the south, and then in the county, community activity center to the north, low density residential to the west, community activity center to the south, and on the east side of Atlanta Road is industrial. This is the site plan that the applicant has supplied to the city. There's a big building and a smaller building totaling about 68,000 square feet of self-storage space. It'll have the OD setbacks, 75 feet front setback on Atlanta Road, 50 foot setback on Daniel Drive, a side setback of 20, and the rear adjacent to residential would be 50-foot setback. They're providing a 15-foot landscape buffer around the perimeter. And they are providing 10 parking spaces. The stormwater will be up at the north end of the site. And there will be a privacy fence around the perimeter of the building. They have an access drive off Atlanta Road only. And they're providing a deceleration lane on Atlanta Road. We've requested right-of-way dedication on Daniel Drive to 25 feet from the center line of the road, and then a sidewalk installation. There is one variance requested to reduce the parking from 34 spaces to 10 spaces. Staff does support that variance. However, these are the pictures of the subject property. and adjacent properties. Staff is recommending denial of the rezoning from GC to OD on 3.29 acres for the use as a self-storage, essentially because the land use would be required to change to industrial, and industrial is not a compatible land use to the surrounding county properties and city properties. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Do you have any questions for Mr. Stobbs? Okay, thank you, sir. At this time, we'd like to ask the applicant to come forward and tell us a little bit about your application. Good evening and welcome.
Can I pass this across to you guys?
I'm sorry. Yeah, you can take off your mask if you're comfortable speaking without it. It might be easier for everybody to hear you, but
All right.
if you want to keep it on, that's fine too.
Thank you.
So we have, just so you know, and just so everyone in attendance knows, we have Mr. Bentley from Ward 3. Is JD on the phone as well, or is just Mr. Bentley? Mr. Bentley from Ward 3 is on the phone, so if somebody would tell him that there's a handout that the applicants brought so he knows, but he obviously can't participate in it. So, good evening and welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Dio. I'm the CEO of GFAC Group, and with me tonight is my wife and our unborn son, who is due in a few days.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much. So, my wife and I moved to Atlanta from the East Coast about 4 years ago, and Atlanta has been good to us so far. We both work in Smyrna. She's an orthodontist at Franklin Dental on South Corp Drive here in Smyrna. I own a business here in Smyrna. I'm an Amazon delivery partner, so I have a fleet of about 60 vehicles here in Smyrna, and I'm currently renting a location on Atlanta Road where I park and where my vans operate every day. So I got tired of renting, and I was looking for something to buy. That was when this property in question came to my attention. So I looked at it, I decided to make the move. We got it, but I drove around there a few times. I looked at the area. It's literally the first building you see when you get into Smyrna. It's like, welcome to Smyrna. So I looked around, and the other buildings surrounding it is either empty or, they're eyesores. Some of them have just abandoned cars, and it's not the most pleasant to the eyes. And I don't want to continue that trend because I'm bringing 60 vans with almost 100 employees that go in and out of that location every day. And I started thinking of a better way to use the land. And for the past 7 months, my team and I have been working on the best way to use this land. And we went over a lot of commercial projects that we can do on it. But at the end of the day, we decided to go forward with the self-storage. I have a 74-page feasibility report that supports that shows that the area is extremely undersupplied, and there's need for a self-storage. But I don't want to bore you with 74 pages of all of that. So I just printed. I think I printed about 3 or 4 pages of just my competition and just the existing self-storages within 2 to 3 miles of the subject property for you to take a look at the occupancy, especially. If you look at it, most of them are between 90 and 95% occupied, which is full in self-storage term. So for other people in the area that are looking to store their things, they have to go outside of Smyrna or just go further away from where they live to make that happen. And in comparison to every other commercial project, we think this will be the best. And the closest to me is about 0.5 miles away from my property, and it's a smaller facility. I pulled up the tax documents. If you look at the past 2 years, I believe they pay about $45,000 in taxes alone. And I'm building a bigger project. This is, in construction costs, it's about $5 million to build this facility that I'm trying to build. And I'm excited about it. My wife and I, we love Smyrna. We want to contribute to making Smyrna more beautiful. If you look at the landscape plan that I have over there, that is what we plan to actually put over there, as against bringing in my 60 vans, which is my plan B, to just make a mess of the area and just add to the existing eyesores that's already in the area. Self-storage is easy. It doesn't have a lot of traffic. A lot of people come in once, they store their goods, and they never come back for months. So we're not impacting traffic. We're not impacting the city resources. We're paying tens of thousands of dollars in taxes. We are, beautifying Smyrna. And personally, I believe it's backed by facts. I believe it's the best use of the facility. And I read a report from the city staff that talked about denial and existing properties around there. If you look at the zoning map that I pulled up, that's in that file as well. In less than 2 miles from me, there are. So on the legend, I believe red is general commercial and blue is OD. So if you look at just within 2 miles of where my property is, you'll see two blue legends. Those are two self-storage facilities within 2 miles, and I do not see any difference in the surrounding compared to mine. I have a few general commercial buildings around me. They do as well. I have a few residential at the back. They do as well. So it's been done before, and if you pull the records, you can see that they have less traffic, they pay a lot in taxes, and mine is even gonna be a lot nicer than what they have. So I'm hoping and believe that, everybody on this board is on board with making Smyrna more beautiful, and, hopefully you will support my business and bid to make this happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Do we have any questions for the applicant? Mr. Bentley, do you have any questions for the applicant?
No, not of the applicant. I did have just one question, maybe the staff can answer, but the residential property to the west of this project, is that part of the city?
No, it is an unincorporated Cobb County. It has a zoning of R20.
Okay, so the property north of Pat Mail Road, just along Atlanta Road, is part of the city, but the other property is part of the county?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Any other questions for the applicant or staff?
I have a question. Will the facility, will there be somebody living there full time?
No,
Okay.
not at all. Nobody's going to live in there full time at all.
Okay.
Yes.
Mr. Bartlett?
So I see the building's 68,000 square feet.
Yes.
How many storage units is that?
It's about 535 units spread across 5 by 10s, 10 by 20s, and 5 by 5s. And to further answer your question, we will, our operating hours will only be from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. So even after 6 p.m., there's not going to be a manager on site. We will have highly equipped cameras, in the whole area, capturing everybody that's going in and coming out. For every client of ours, we have a copy of the driver's license. We have a copy of, we know where they live. We have their details. And for every minute that you get into the facility, we have the technology to give you a scanner that gets you into the building. And when you scan that, we have your data. So we have full control of the building. We know who is there at every point in time. It is, probably more secure than a bank. And
That make a lot of banks unhappy to hear that. All right, so you mentioned, well, I got two questions. One, have you built a storage facility previously?
No, I have not. But I signed a franchise agreement with a company called Storage Authority. It's a national storage brand who has built facilities all over the country. And
What's the name of it?
Storage Authority.
Storage Authority. Okay.
So I signed a franchise agreement with them already. We partnered together in the design of this project. It's a big project. We're putting $5-6 million into this, and it will be stupid of me to just embark on this without having the right team to make it happen. So these guys have built hundreds of facilities across the country, and I'm working with the engineers, I'm working with the architects, I'm working with the whole team that they have to make sure this is a successful project, and that goes into the operations as well.
Okay. The other question I have is, you keep referencing the 60 vehicles, but we only have 9 parking spots.
60 vehicles, I said that was for my other business that is not coming here.
You're not planning on parking?
Oh,
on
no,
Okay.
no, I do not, I'm saying, I'd love to get his approval so that, I don't have to go with a plan B of taking 60 vehicles there and just continue the mess that's over there already and just, not make it physically appealing. Yes.
Thank you very much. Any other questions or comments for the applicant? Oh, Mr. Jones.
So do you plan on doing like U-Haul rentals or anything like a lot of other storage facilities do?
No, I do not.
Okay.
Because in the storage business, for a lot of people that do that, they don't necessarily make money from U-Haul. It just drives traffic. It drives traffic to the storage. It brings more people to them. They know, oh, there's a storage here. They have a promo, first month free, and hopefully they'll get to sign up. And, I don't plan to add that to my operations.
Gotcha. I was just worried with reducing the parking space requirement. Yes. If you had U-Hauls there, that could be a problem too. So.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Good question. Anybody else? All right. Thank you very much, sir. At this time, did you want to add something else?
No. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We may have you back up to answer any more questions, depending on how the public comment goes.
That's okay. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. At this time, we'd like to open the floor. If there's anyone in attendance that would like to come forward and speak in favor of or opposition to this application, now would be the time. If you just give us a second to disinfect our podium. Thank you, Ms. Crow. Please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Johnny Turner, and I live at 902 Daniel Drive, the property adjacent to the rear of this. I'm not real clear on these drawings exactly what I'm be looking at. My home, I've been there 46 years, and my home is only 12 feet from the property line. So I'm not understanding exactly the way this building is here in this diagram, and it looks like there's 2 buildings with a driveway that goes through it or around it or something. I'm not sure. And then it says here two-story structure, 50 foot from my kitchen window, and it's a metal. I'm assuming it's a metal building, pretty much what we got blessed with some 30 years ago. And I really just don't understand how that fits into our neighborhood. But we already have an enormous drainage problem off of that property. And whenever you pave or improve almost twice that, that means we're going to have double the drainage problem. We've had an enormous amount of erosion across my lot and on down Daniel Drive. If anybody ever goes up there, the little detention pond they have does not hold the water. I mean, those people across the street from me literally can't go out their front doors when we have a hard rain. It's just too much water, and there's nowhere else for it to go. And then the building of this size, I'm a little bit concerned about the lighting. Am I going to be living in downtown Atlanta with a building of this size? You know, it's never going to be dark anymore. So I'm a little bit concerned about it. You know, if it was maybe a little bit smaller and a nice brick structure to go along with the decor of all the houses on our street, then that would be good. But whenever Mr. Rackley built that building that's there now, 36 years ago, it didn't fit then and it doesn't fit now. The privacy fence that was put up 30 some odd years ago is tied up to a tree and propped up against my basketball goal. That property has not been maintained. I mean, it's been a blight for several years. And I'm just wondering, what am I opening myself up to even further? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Turner. Anybody else like to come forward and speak in favor of or opposition to the application? It's okay. We don't bite or throw things here, especially with that officer over there.
My name is Elizabeth Hardy. I live at 861 Daniel Drive. I was just curious to know, the part about the Amazon vans kind of concerns me. So if they built a storage unit, is it possible for that to transition into the business with the vans, or would there be like another meeting or something to address that?
Well, if I understand it correctly, he has no intention of bringing the Amazon vans there unless he gets what he wants tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Gotcha. Anybody else? All right. Any further comment from the board or Mr. Bentley on the phone?
Me.
All right. Well, our Ward 5 representative is not here tonight. So at this time, I'd like to entertain a motion, and if one of you could help out with that, that would be fantastic.
Okay, I will make a motion to deny rezoning request to Z21-001, allowing rezoning from GC to OD conditional for the use of a self-storage facility.
I got a motion to deny. I have from Mr. Tom Bartlett. I have a second from Mr. Earl Rice. Can we please vote on the motion that's on the table? Mr. Bentley?
I agree with the motion to deny.
So we have a motion, we have a second, we have a 6-0 vote to deny the application. Mr. Deo, well done in your application or in your presentation tonight. Thank you. Good luck with your property. Good luck as you move forward and keeping Smyrna beautiful. We certainly appreciate that. I know it's not the outcome you wanted, but we do appreciate your investment in our community. All right. The next item on our agenda is item 2021-007. This is zoning request Z21-002. This is to, this item is to be tabled until the February 8th, 2021 meeting. Can I get a motion to table this item? A motion, Mr. Earl Rice. A second, Mr. Mike Seagraves. All in favor of the motion tabling? And Mr. Bentley?
I agree.
The item is tabled 6-0. Okay. Any other discussion we need tonight before we approve the minutes from last month? No? All right. Well, I need, are the board members in possession of the minutes from the December 14th meeting? Are there any changes that need to be made at this time? Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes as presented? Henrietta? And I got a second, Mr. Rice, the hardest working man on the planning board tonight. And all in favor of the motion or the minutes being approved as presented? Mr. Bentley?
Aye.
The minutes are approved 6-0. Without any further discussion, this meeting is adjourned at 6:29. And I'm surprised nobody had any comments about who's going to win the game tonight, but that's all right. 6:29.